Okay.
Your best friend, family member, someone you know, someone that's close to you, dies suddenly because of something preventable. Most, if not all people, know someone with diabetes or a health condition that requires medication. For those without enough money, without health insurance, finding care can be very, very difficult. I picked this topic of rising insulin prices because I know quite a few people, and I'm related to quite a few people who do suffer from diabetes. The thought of one day them not having enough money to get the medication that they need is something that's quite terrifying and something that I hope never comes to. The increasing price of insulin has caused many unnecessary deaths of people throughout the United States, but there are ways that it can be fixed. The points I'll cover is the price of insulin throughout the years, stories of those who have suffered because of it, and what can be done. Firstly, looking at the cost of insulin through the years, in an article by Washington Post, they look at how drastically the price of insulin has changed. And in that article, you can also see the graph that I have given to all of you in that pamphlet that looks at the prices of insulin from the years 2012 to 2016. And you can see that those prices have almost doubled in just 4 years. The Washington Post also said that in the past decade alone, US insulin list prices have tripled, and the prices shown have only doubled. This dramatic price has made it almost unaffordable for people with diabetes that can't change the way that they are, not be able to afford the insulin that's needed. The companies that make the insulin have allowed for the staggering inflation of price that have also profited off of it. The dramatic increase of price is due to the companies that make it and has created issues for those who need it. Insulin isn't a medicine people with diabetes can go without, and if they don't have it, they can die a relatively horrible death. Secondly, there are hundreds of people who suffer because they can't afford insulin. According to everydayhealth.com, 1 in 4 people who are prescribed insulin may be using less than what they need because of the cost. And a doctor they had interviewed stated that he had patients who would cut their insulin in half just because they couldn't afford the right amount. USA Today also cites 2 personal stories of Shane Boyle and Alex Smith, who both died tragically due to lack of funding for insulin. Deaths like theirs are recorded in the hundreds, but could be avoided with lower insulin costs. People who need insulin daily are rationing what they have nothing, and are losing the ability to afford food and other things just to afford their insulin. Women, men, and children who have diabetes are dying daily, and lives are lost due to the skyrocketing prices, as people are forced to choose the risk and possibility of likely death. Lastly, with government funding and action, there's many ways to make insulin affordable for all people. According to the New York Times article, the government has tried to lower insulin prices. The US House of Representatives have passed a bill in 2022 to limit the cost of insulin to $35 a month, something that is affordable to most people in the United States. The Endocrine Society also has a list of solutions, including the limitation of price at the rate of inflation, and also allowing the government to negotiate the prices of insulin. If the government did allow for the negotiation of price, both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, people with type 2 and type 1 diabetes would be able to afford insulin. People wouldn't have to ration it or risk death. The US government has taken one step to creating this dream into a reality. With the government's help, many people will be saved and given the opportunity to live a long and healthy life. Insulin prices can be fixed. and it can become something that is affordable to everyone in the United States. As someone with family members who have diabetes, it's very shocking just the amount of price, the price has increased over the last couple of years. With government action, people can afford insulin at a right cost. And it's something that's important to not only me, but everyone in this room, because you might know someone that has diabetes. You might be sitting right next to them. And it's very important that we work towards a solution that will limit the amount of deaths caused. Thank you so much.